Oops, I forgot to remove the overlay. Uh, so, hello. Hi, Yusli. How are you doing?
Hi, Alberto. Good night. Hello.
Good night. Both of us have like news for today. For me, I'm back in Mexico. It's a nice thing to be home. Actually, I missed a lot of my place. But yours are kind of more interesting, isn't it, Yusli?
About where I am?
No, the how your interview went.
Ah, that's true. I have the update
Yeah.
of the interview. That's true. I mean, it was nice. It was. I think I got scared too much about the problems that I saw online that are usually asked on those interviews. And like when the interviewer like copy pasted the question like on the Google Docs, I was like, okay, this question is like relatively easy for being asked. I mean, it was 100% lead code easy,
Okay.
but he was like really um like giving me plenty of follow-ups about the question and making sure that I actually understand like what I was writing, like my lines of code. He asked like to like make it better, plenty of follow-ups, like 10 follow-ups.
Yeah. And do you think like is that something you were prepared for? Like how,
I mean, I
how
was
did that make you
prepared,
feel?
like I was prepared for the question because it was not very hard. But as for the follow-ups, that scared me like in that moment. Cause like he
Okay.
asked me like two follow-ups and I was like, okay, it's fine. But then like the follow-ups kept coming and I was like, okay, these were definitely more than what I was expecting. And then like there were only like 10 minutes left for the interview and he was like, okay, I think we have time for one more problem. And I was like, what?
Okay.
Like we don't have time. And yeah, he placed me like another question in just like 10 minutes for me to solve.
Oh. And did you manage to finish it?
Yeah, like he was okay. Maybe you can just like walk me through like your approach and which type of like data structure would you be using. And I finished that in like 4 or 5 minutes, and he was like, okay, maybe you have time to like code it up. And I was like, okay, well, I will try my best. And I did it like kind of fast and explaining. Like I didn't write like all my notes and those as I usually do, and he was happy with the result. He was like, okay, your solution is the most optimal one, and I think we should be good to go. And we finished it there.
Yeah. Um, for example, do you feel like this kind of exercises that we have doing over the last days kind of help you with that, or like you had to be okay either with the things the sessions we have done?
I mean, I think that something that helped me like definitely a lot is like trying to explain the problem out loud and just explaining like every step like I do. I was like, okay, I'm pretending like I'm on another MLH stream, just like chilling and explaining my problem to everyone, like trying to get them to understand. And
Yeah.
with that in mind, everything was like very straightforward because they usually seek that you explain like every tiny bit of line that you're explaining, or why are you using like this variable, or why are you using like this data structure. So it definitely helped.
Yeah, I agree a lot. Like trying, well, in order to try to teach or to explain something, you have to have a really clear idea about that. And for those in home, like for example, I know you are not streaming, but you're watching us like doing these kind of exercises, and then you can go and do it yourselves. And I'm pretty sure you have heard of the Robert Duck method. And for example, I have like this little friend right here because I have to talk it out loud. I know, like not always streams, there's not always people listening. Um, yeah, we all have like these rubber ducks because we need them. Like it's super a super valuable thing. So I was thinking for this session, maybe I can start with another exercise for hack rank, and that will be the last. The last session, I completed one, not in a very optimal way, I have to admit. From all the test cases, there were like 23, and three were not passing because of the time limit. That was an issue. I could think of another solution, but we were hitting time with the stream. But I think it doesn't work like coming back again and trying to do it in a very optimal form. I think it would be better for you if I just start a new one. And I think I have one prepared. And then we can go with Jocelyn, and she is going to talk to us a little bit more about her experience and well some things about the process of the recent interview she had. So what do you say, Jocelyn? That sounds great.
Yeah, good to go.
Cool. So let me start sharing my screen. Um, some hackers realized that my screen was big because in this setup I get to move my eyes a lot. Like right now, I'm looking one corner, then I look in one corner. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I have like this little monitor of the computer where I'm watching the stream. So um,
Amazing. You have your whole setup.
yeah, my home setup it's the best. Okay, here it is, and we can start then. I'll get full screen. Oh no, no, let me make it bigger because I think that wasn't working for many people. We will have like problems watching this. Okay, now should be better. Okay, this should be better. The problem's called Lily's homework, so we're. Oh, I'm not presenting on stream. That happens to me a lot. But okay, yeah, the problem's called Lily's homework, and so we're helping Lily's to get her homework done. The statement says, whenever George asks Lily to hang out, she's busy doing homework. George wants to help her finish it faster, but he is in heads over heels. Oh no, but he's in over his head. Yeah. Can you help George understand Lily's homework so she can hang out with him? Consider an array of n distinct integers. Array equal this. George can swap any two elements of the array any number of times. An array is beautiful if the sum of the first element minus the well not the first array the array where array e minus array e minus 1 among 0 1 and n is minimal. Given the array, determine and return the minimum number of swaps that should be performed in order to make the array beautiful. And we have an example. One array is 3, 7, 12, 15. To get there, one minimal array it's this, so they need to swap the these two. Yeah, George performed the following steps. So the original it's this one, the same as they mentioned here, and the first swap it's 7 and 3. The new array. The second one will be 7 and 15. and now it's in order. So we need to sort this. It took two swaps to make the array beautiful. It's the minimal among the choices of beautiful array possibles. Complete Lily's homework function in the area below. The boundaries of this problem is Lily's homework has the following parameter. It's an array with n number of integers. It should return the minimum number of swaps required in integers. And the input format, it's the first line contains a single integer, the number of elements in the array. The second line contains n space separated integers array. So the constraints are these, and we have a sample input, standard input of this and this. So, and it's 4, and the array of this, it's that. And this expected output, it's a 2. So here's the function, and I'm thinking that already for this example, we can start with the problem of we need to decide in specifically for JavaScript if we want to perform faster operations, either though it will require much amount of memory, because for example, as I mentioned before, all in JavaScript are objects. So arrays indeed are objects, and we can have methods that actually manipulates the content of the object. So for this example, we can create a new array, but that will take much amount of space in the memory, but it will be faster than mutate this the real object. Um, but since the boundaries or the constraints of the problem are these ones, I think it will be better to have faster solution that takes more space. So that's what we are going to do, and only for that meaning. So there will be the different methods of the arrays that we're going to use. Now, how we can start it? First, we need to count the swaps. And for this, I'm going to create number of swaps. This variable. Now, let me read a little bit more this. Consider an array of n string integers. So we receive this array. George can swap any two elements. Um, and for these, open MDM documentation. Mozilla MDM. And we are going to open it for JavaScript. And I want to check on the built-in objects, the array, some of the methods we have available. The first I'm thinking of, it's the one called supplies. No, shift. I think it is the one. Yeah, no. Okay, no worries. I was thinking of a method, but we can do this ourselves. The point of here is that there, there are different approaches of sorting that we can apply, but what we want, it's the minimal number of notifications here. So if we, for example, wanted to try changing or comparing these with these and then make it a change and then making a change and then making a change, and trying to iterate over this, that won't be working. So we need a longer memory for that, because for making this first swap, for example, we need to realize the number or the values, sorry, for the first and the last number. So mm, how we can do that? I'm thinking we can store this, or first of all we obviously need to go over each value of this array, right? um, then store that on a new element. So I will check the for each method if this returns. Yeah, it doesn't define, so it doesn't mutate the the value of this, if anything. Hmm. An array, it's beautiful. It's the sum of amount that it's minimal. So with these numbers, the sample output will be 2, same as this. So 1 and 2, and then, no, in this case, it's 1 and 5. No, we need to move the 1 to here. 1 and 3. 5 yeah, the movement should be, we need to swap 5 and 1, and then 1 and 2. So for doing that, the first thing is to get the lower element to the first position, and after that get the bigger number to the last position. In this case, where the array is 4 elements, mostly this should take 2 swaps. If we make the array bigger, we will have to do that. So that will be our approach in this case. Our approach will be move first, move to first position the, let's say, min number, and move to last position the max number. And again, for just 4 elements array, that will only be required to be 2 times. But let's imagine this is a 6 elements array. So next time, we can assume the elements on each side, so the first and last, are already in the place. So we can reduce the length of our array to the things in the middle and then perform this operation again and just taking count the number of swaps. And once that's done, we can end the cycle. So let's do it with a while. Uh, no, no, because in that case we will have to add a flag or something. Um, okay, yeah, one with two and two with five. Well, I mean, it was the same. Um, no, yeah, I get it. For first, we can put this together, and yeah, yeah, let's do the for each. Well, the only thing I'm not sure of this. Okay, no, let's just do a simple for. We have the length method, right? Um, I mean property. Yeah, it's property length, so it doesn't need to be. And here, over array in index, we need to verify if this is the minimum, and it will be very similar to what we did before in the in one of the problems that we already solved. I can't remember which one. We are going to store this on a minimum value. So we call the way, check which one it's const let min val num, and the constraints, the values of the array. Yeah, it starts with one, so this can be zero. If are you a selection sort person or a bubble sort person? uh, I will say that with all of the all of the algorithms are there for a reasons, right? So each one has to be applied for the specific case, and even if you don't apply it in the right scenario, um, like doing well implementations or that can take you out of a problem. But in general, of course, this is like the generic response, right? But in general, I will try to do the bubble. Then, if the bubble doesn't actually fits right, then I can try other approaches. What about you, Jocelyn?
I wouldn't know. Like I usually don't like I don't have a preference. Like it's usually the one that I remember the quickest like at the moment is the one that I implement.
Yeah, I do agree. Like the first that comes in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing kind of syntactic sugar here. Um, it's this bigger than min, less than min number. Yeah, so then min number will be now our one in index, right? Else new, and kind of the same for this, like array. It's bigger than max number. Yeah, well, then max number it will be this. And that's all. Then we have this for sure. And actually, well, yeah, no problems. Now that we have this in mind, uh, I would call. Um, I will make this into a function, but maybe later. First, I want to get all of this done out of my head, and that will be for same same conditions here. But the point is that, oh no, we doesn't need to move this anymore. Uh, and now we are going to check if the minimum. Uh, I will explain this with. I will expand it. Then I will do it like more um syntactic sugar. I want to store the position of min num, and that is array dot index of min num. So this will tell us the position of this number, and then the same with maxnum, right? So if this position of minimum happens to be equal to 0, then return. If, well, no, let me correct that. If this it's different from 0, let's perform a number of swaps increase by one, and we also need to check if this position of maximum it's different from the array length, in which case we can do this, this, but also we also need to perform the task, obviously, right? To do that, um, let's see, because I think we have a right method for this. Exactly for the, well, first I will need to slice it, right? So to slice this, I would say if it is different from zero, we are going to do array.slice, and but let me see if this returns. What's the return of this? Okay, yeah, it restores a copy, but it is not the original one. So nice. Array.slice, and I want to start with the 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Mm, where it starts, the index where it starts extraction. Okay, I will do a try with that, but don't worry. Just to be sure of this, let me create this example here, and this should be code. Oh no, 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 I messed it up. No, not code. And I want to create an R equals to the one we are doing, which is 2531, 2531, and these are index of one, it's 3, so our let new r, it should be r dot slice d3, and new array, it's just one. What happened? No. Okay, I am playing bad this. Maybe because it should be an array. Oh yeah. Uh, yeah. 2531 So this didn't make sense. Description and the example didn't help me, or I'm thinking of supplies. No, no, I was doing right. Like I wanted slice. I want to slice the only things that I'm not doing this as it's supposed to. Let me understand the example. We have 0, 1, 0, 1. So it should start in 1 and end in 3, 0, 1. So, one. Okay, so this is the part that we are taking off. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, no, no, I do get it now. Yeah, no, no. The only thing is that it's not going to work for us. Well, maybe, but I have to do some changes on how we're thinking this. So, if we have the index of what we want to remove, but actually not the thing we want to remove, so that will be -1, or that will be 2 and 1. Okay, no, I get it. Okay, yeah, no, that's not going to work. So no methods then. Uh, we are going to store this new. Change array as swapping these. Okay, so yeah, we will need to populate. No, find sort supplies. Yeah, we'll need to splice this where it starts the delete the counter. So let's say it's not slice, but splice, and we start with from 0, and the thing we want to remove it's February. Yeah, but this will modify the array. So we deleted 2. So the array that we have now, it's this. Okay, that will do. So array, we will make a copy of our array, and this will do. Values with blank. Okay, yeah, just checking about this. And some last tries. Let R2 equal, and I will make this just to do simple. Yeah. Okay. Um, but there's also objects. Copy. Okay, yeah, no. I don't want to copy this instead of um, giving directly this. What I think that will be better, it's create a new array from the one that it's previously. No, no, that won't work. I will do a search for this. Copy of, copy element, object assign, copy within. Okay. Okay. No, it still's being there. Um, well, no part says we cannot modify the array, isn't it? The only downside here is that we should probably be doing more computational effort. But okay, let's solve it that way. No, no worries. So no need to make a copy of the array. We have the number of swaps, the number of these things change, and the position of the min sum. It's already clear. We saw that it is not what we want, and now we will remove it. Splice, and we are going to splice the position of the minimum. Yeah, it's the position of the minimum number. And then we are going to insert with the method called um, shift. No. Oh well. I'm so dumb to be honest. Now I'm thinking of this. Yeah, I could avoid all of these work nonsense, but just doing this temp num to swap. Now we are going to do array. This should be position 0, though it's the number we want to swap for, and array in position 0. Now it's the min number, yeah, of course, and the array in the position of the minimum number, it's the temporary number to swap. I was thinking this like sorry, I wanted to use some methods because they are supposed to be more efficient, but I think this will be much better. And the same with this, like we're going to make a temporary number to swap, and this is going to be storing the array. Um, oh yeah, the array dot length value in it, and now we're going to do array dot length again, and this is going to be reassigned to the number max number, and at last I'm going just to say array dot temp, sorry, no, where this was position, yeah, position of max number. It's, and we swap it yeah, the temporary number to swap. So once this is done, we can start this function called make boundaries. No, make like edges swipes. And let's move all of this here. And of course, let's make this an outside function of this. We don't want to change these functions. But this needs to return the number, the local swaps. And local swaps, it's going to be a number starting 0. Yeah, this it's not to be number of swaps, but local swaps. So this can be 2 or nothing if they are already in position. So let's apply this, and let's say number of swaps, it's plus equal the function called make edge swipes. This, and at last we return total number of swaps. But again, this will work for a four number scenario. Also, we can do another thing, that it's returning the change array with the previous values. Another thing we can do here, um, it's to reduce like boundaries in this. Okay, this can be stored inside this as well, like here we start with that. We receive the let's call this local array, so we need to change all of this. Okay, we are nice with that. We already mentioned this, and we passed the array, but this it's going to return us instead of that. Let's make this something called this group. I will make this recursive. Yeah, I will make this recursive. To do so, to make this recursive, we receive the array. This in this case it's four, but once already we sort this, now we can do something that is splice it. So that will be new sort array that will be equal to the array elements from, well, in Python will be simple just like this, but um, for here we do have like the splice, right? uh, 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 um, where is it? Oh, I lost it. Give me a second. Oh, it returns. Yeah, it returns the element from one, two, and the whole slice. This will be from one to array dot length. So I'll try to make that. I just need to prove this. And array dot slice from, and this is one, two, three, four elements. So this one will be 1,4. Oh yeah, because this is array one. So we will have all in the middle. Yeah, amazing. So this is proved if sort array dot and length it's bigger than 2. Yeah, because for example in this case this will be 2, it could be a 3. um, so it is intended to this to be a 3. We will call the same function again, make edge swipes, and we are going to pass the unsort array. And now let's imagine that we built this already. So what we need to do is return the local swaps. Yeah, yeah. So if in this case they wanted to local swaps will be the this in this case, in this specific case, this is going to be 2 at the end of this. So this one happened, but let's imagine that we add another element to this array. 7, 15, 12, 3, uh, and a 5. So it's going to look for the latest so the sorry the minimum element, which is 3. It's going to swap it with the 5, sorry, with 7. Next to that, it's going to look for the biggest element, that will be 15, and it's going to swap it with the 5. So in this case, we will have 3, 12, no, 3, 5, 12, 7, and 15. Now we delete 3 and 15, and we still have 7, 12, and 5. Okay, so that's kind of a problem because we just need to make one swipe then. Um, let's try or test. So it will identify now the new number. In that case, the new array will be 7, 12, and 5. Oh no, it won't be 7, 12, and 5. Sorry, it will be um, the 15th changed with the 5. So it will be 5, 12, and 7. Yeah, yeah, that's how it's going to work. 5, 12, and 7. But same, like we have a 5. Oh, in that case, so it do works because 5 it's already the minimum number. So this is not going to happen at all. We are just going to have a maximum number that will be one more swap, and our counter will work as it's supposed to. Nice, nice. So I think we can try this now. Um, super cool. Um, mm, 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 mm. Okay, now I'm wondering where did Jocelyn went, but I'm guessing she will be back. No worries. Now, oh, she's back now. Yeah, we can try this. We can try this. We can try this. At the end, this will be reduced to this. Um, we can, well, yeah, we can try that. So let's decode process. Okay, it's not defined. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Yeah, of course. This is index. So sorry about that. Let's check if I don't have like another error. Dump us that index. Minimum. It does exist. Um, local swaps. It's equal to 0. Every time there will be adding more and more. So yeah, we can run this now. Again, I add another e, which is this local array dot length. I did not add another E. Do I? Like, this is not part of that. This is not part of that. This I already. Oh, yeah, my bad. Oh, that's the problem. Okay, and at some point I didn't change the name of array to local array, and that's another thing. This is local array. This is local array. Let's change. Let's see. This. This is. It's supposed to be local array slice. Yeah. More errors. Yeah. Local array dot array. Yeah. This one. And here the same. I'm guessing no. Up. We did change it. Okay. Let's do one more. Unsort array. Yeah, here. Yeah, and we pass it. Now the problems was just my syntax and that I did change a lot of stuff. But now we can submit it and let's see. Oh, okay, a lot of these cases failed. Only two of them were passed. Uh, and I'm wondering, like this, for example. Okay, this is one, two, three, four, five. We had the expected output, but what happened? Okay, test again, custom input. I'm wondering why these failed. No message. Yeah, no message in any of this. Let's try with a six, for example, six array element. So let's test it with our own data. So let's just put random numbers here, and I just want it to be one, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, let's run the code with that. Maybe that's why. No, but that's not from our code. Um, Maybe that's because it's supposed to be comma separated. Like I don't know. I don't think so. But let's try it. No replace. That's split. Read line replace. This. These ones. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Let's try to see. Well, I'm taking a lot of time from this. But the problem it's not part of our solution. The problem it's something about this that we didn't code in the main. I didn't move anything about that. Cannot read properties, reading replaced. Replacement here it's about the red line. The input was correctly represented like this. It's exactly what we wanted. This could be the same with the other um, test cases. Oh no, standard input it's different. Yeah, so they do something like sing 564 3 9 or 12 1 2 3 4 and just regular 6. Okay, yeah. No, I was making this input wrong, but the test case happened. So I'm guessing why the other submissions happened. Um, failed. Just a random one. Let's explore this. Do I? Yeah. So for example, here. So this is a big test case. So I will download this. Copy all the expected output. It's a lot, like a lot of movements. Um, but it doesn't tell me my answer, does it? No. So let's add this as the trailing. It succeed. Like what? So why it's not a passing? No, no. Okay. No, my output can't be this one. Oh, I'm guessing. So the problem it's that I'm not correctly making this. You know, like at the end, it always starts with 0, but it starts with 0 for the first, then the changes will be made here. If I run this on a third level, for example, if I return to a case in which this will be 6 elements, and I know for sure they will have to move at least more than 2 times. So it will be 24, uh, 21, 42, 1, 2, and 3. And I run this. Yeah, of course, it's keep telling 2 because it's going to be moved here and 24 here, then 42 here and 3 here. So we will have 1, 21, 3, 24, 2, 42. We delete the edges and now we will have 21, 3, 24. Okay. Um, I don't know why this pass, like it's not supposed to be passing. But yeah, we are not doing more swaps, just these ones. Mm. No, to be honest, that will be a thing to explore maybe in the future, because it's returning all the swaps that are made. We add them to the ones that we previously had. We're getting the things in the middle. Let's do a console log of local swaps. Want to? What? Okay, maybe this isn't even getting to the end. I want to look at the swaps, and I want insert to array. Oh, this is interesting. Why I want local array. 0 minus 1, undefined, undefined. 0. And why is that? Let's do a console log before all this done. We want position of minimum, position of maximum, and we want local array. The first, the positions are not found because local array is not. But I'm passing this, like, why are why are you not getting the local array? Um, okay, so then why this works? Um, hmm. No answer, minus one, not a number, and this is receiving not a number. Yeah, directly the problem. It's what I'm looking, what I'm receiving. Okay. The problem was this custom input. But okay, now I'm getting something here. We are not looking for that. Um, -1 and -1 because these were not found. So we can say, for example, 24 it's less than minimal number. Okay, I think this might not be performing. So let's change this a little. Local array. Now I can tell it's working, but I want to see also min number and max number. Hmm. If local array it's less than min number, if 24 it's less than 24, if 0 I'm just making some corrections because I think it wasn't working like the program how it was supposed to. So um, the interesting thing that's that thinking why then some of the test cases run, but I think okay by this far that should be it, except that min number cannot be 0. Well, it should be just at least 1, same as this one. Okay, now we have this. Um, At least this part is working now. Now let's see the next part that was not working, which is the local swap. Position of this, we need to have them, like we need to have position of the minimum number, which is 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. The maximum number 0, 1, 2. So we have that. And here, what's now we were sure we have this position. Now, if position of the minimum number is different from 0, we will add a local swap. We are going to make these changes, and we are going to console.log array after min swap and the local array. And we will do the same with the array after max swap. So this was our original. We need to change 1 to 24, so it's done. Then we need to change 42 to 3, and there is a problem. Why there is a problem? So we can have another swap is increase temp num to swap. In this case will be the local array dot length. So that should be 3. I'm not getting why the error might be happening. So maybe console.log, and we are going to log temporary number to swap and the local array dot length, just to be sure. And both are undefined. Maybe that's why. Temp number to swipe, but it's starting with local array, while local array dot length it's undefined. Um, I'm like, it's this is the one. Oh, maybe I'm writing wrong length, and that's all the problem. Um, which is what uh, 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 is it length th, and I'm probably writing wrong. Yeah, ht. That was the whole thing. Whew. Let's replace it with lang th in all cases. Let's see. Maximum call stack exceed. Yeah, okay. But the thing here happened fine until this point. And at this point, I'm just going to add a little comment here for the maximum call stack. But until this point now, everything kind of seems fine, except for the first value here. First value, it's temp number to swap. Temp number to swap, it's assigned to local array dot length. Still not getting why is it undefined. Should be a tree. Should be a tree. So that's getting us the other error, I'm guessing. Uh, why not? Tab position. And this is going to be tab position. I want to add this to temp position 6. Okay. So um, this should be like this then, and this should be like this then. Yep, yep, like that. Mm-mm-mm. And now we can remove these comments. Yeah, they do. But at some point, we managed to have a -1, and that's not a good thing, because how can we know if a problem itself is the dynamic programming algorithm? The problem looks so much like it, but it's not. Um, Again, you look like, for example, here in HackerRank, like the platform, I had the problem that some test cases were actually passing, but the output didn't make sense, and you have to read like the problem statement to fully understand what you're looking for, and it helps a lot actually to have like paper and a pen just to go directly full sketch. And right now I take a little example with short values just to be able to do that fully on mental. But imagine like having a test case like this one. So it can be insane to try to do that even on paper. Um, but the thing is that you know how it's done. Like if you go over the mental process like line by line by line, and it fits, it makes sense, and in the test case it passes. But if one of these two doesn't match, like for example if you think in your mental thoughts that it will do, but the test cases says the opposite, so it's not ready then. um, but it can be also the other way, like the one we're mentioning here. Some of the test cases passes, but in what you're for sure that you're doing something wrong. So in this case, it's completely nonsense because we have like values that shouldn't be here, and somehow we we managed to get the result. So that would be something like that. But I don't want to get too distracted. I want to resolve this because now it's personal. Um, and I'm thinking the thing that we have here, it's also this one, because I didn't change to a temp position. So yeah, still having these numbers. Okay, local swaps, local array, uncertain array. So after this, we can two local swaps. This sorted array, what we did was correct. Change 1 to 24, change 42 with 3. Now we remove the edges, so we have 23, 3, 2. Oh, and here's another problem. Um, we need to remove -1, this one. Yeah, so now we have like correct the borders. We do need to find the first, which is 2. 2 should be sent directly to 21. So, okay. For some reason, these values were not okay. Okay, okay. Mm, mm, I'm thinking to do something else, that is directly return the insert array and the local swaps. Now here, this is the number of swaps and the inserted array. So if let's do the other statement here. Insert array dot length, it's bigger than 2. Then we need to make it swipes again, and we pass the unsorted array. And for this, we are going to we are going to add this to a while. Unsorted arrays that length are bigger than 2. We are going to make this. But in that case, we should return something like this. Number of swaps equals that. Swaps and let sort array equals temp object that are. Mm, 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 mhm, mhm. Um, just let me think of the logic of this now before we end. Um, it will be 2, 1, 2, 3. They will be returning 3, 2. I think I made a mess and I didn't want to actually. Yeah, I did a full mess here. I want to return to the point where these were returning the unsorted array. No, these were here just returning all of that. Yeah, this was good. And the only problem I had here, it's the not being able to clean these variables, but that's something I think I can handle here, just not assigning nothing. Yeah, no, that won't work. Um, I can assign to this local array 0 and to this local array the local array dot length minus one value. Yeah, and now it works as it's supposed to. Okay, still failing a lot of cases. Expected output, what my output was. Okay, we can try this. Of course, I'm not going to console log all because that will be a lot to process. And here my output was 74. No, your output 269 and the desired was 268. Oh, oh, we are so close. But I wonder if there's a matter of um, me just needing to change a variable, or is there a matter of actually something wrong with the code? You know, um, let's do a tricky thing. That is, local swap starting 0. One tricky thing that we can do to solve this. Well, no. Um, did pass beyond me. 69 and we wanted 68. if array dot length was bigger than 4, just the number of swaps will be equally 1 1. Okay, funny to think of. Yeah, but I just wondering if that actually makes sense for all those cases, but no. Um, so sorry I took like a lot of much time, Jocelyn. I just wanted to take the chance to end this, but hey, like I will do it and I will let you know in Discord, and I will send the answer there because something happening that it's not like I'm not fully understand this maybe, but yeah, so my bad on that. Um, so I do know that you want to share with us some things, and there is a time like there is no band like happening after us. So if you want to share, Jocelyn, um, what you have prepared.
I mean, I think I can do like a summary so I don't take like the time of the people who are watching, as it was like 2 hours. I was going to like present the share path where my interview was in, and like, yeah, I will just present. It will just be text, but I mean, at least there are like some insights on the interview that I had uh 2 days ago. Let me just. So basically, these are two different problems that they gave me. I leave this one at the end. The first one was to implement a function that returns true if it has been called more than 3 times in the last 3 seconds. And as follow ups, they basically, after I finished writing the function, they basically told me to determine the output of my function given certain inputs. So the interviewer basically wrote like some set of numbers, and he asked me to determine the output of those numbers without like actually going through the function. And then after that, he told me to actually manually run like the examples that he gave me, and he asked me to give him like the value of each like element in my function when the value was going like through each of the steps. And then he basically asked me what will happen if you want n times and m seconds. And the answer to that was just basically saying that you want to add input parameters to your function instead of it being like without return value. And then finally, he also asked me what the time and space complexity. And then as my solution was ON, it was quite efficient, I would say. Like ON, it's pretty good. But still he was not like, he told me, okay, but maybe you can try to how will you think about optimizing like your function out? And I was like, okay, I think it is already like optimized, but he still wanted me to go further. So as a hint, he basically told me like you don't want to store like all of the timestamps that go through your function. So when he basically told me that, I just I implemented a different approach where I didn't like store all of my timestamps in a vector, and I just store like the three most recent ones and have like an aside counter of what to do. So I will write function optimize the function. And while I was coding each step, he basically asked like random questions on, oh, why did you place this variable in here? Or what does this line do? Or what would be the value in this line of code? So I will just say random questions while coding. And this is just basically to ensure that you are actually writing that code and you don't want to like just I don't know, like try to copy, or like you have it your the solution memorized or something like that. So they just want to make sure that that it is like you going throughout the problem. And the interview was 60 minutes long. So it was 60 minutes long. And the first 10 minutes were introduction basically. So like they asked me why I was motivated to learn about technology. He also asked me about a specific projects that were on my resume. He asked me about like previous internship experience, and for that I mentioned, for example, the MLH fellowship. And he then made a follow-up in there asking like what was a problem that I solved while I was like in the fellowship, and then I went to talk about that. Then it was like 40 minutes of coding challenge, and then the last 5 minutes were basically of like questions like to the interviewer. And when I finished this solution, my approach in here, I'm not going to code it in case some of you actually want to try and make this by yourself, but I'm just going to mention like the general approach on how will this work. So the first step is to basically write um, remove timestamps. Well, no, I will make it more specific for you. So you have to create a variable to store the time of now, and then you want to um this well yeah, to store the time like of right now, like for example the current time, you can call it like current time for example. And then you want to create a loop. You want to create a loop to check if your is not empty, because you don't want to iterate over something that doesn't have any value. And as a middle step, you want to create not empty. And yeah, you want to create a loop to check if your time times vector is not empty. And you also want to check if the duration, so it's basically now minus time dot front, which is basically the first element of your vector, is not like greater to 3. And inside the loop, you basically want to add the current timestamp, and then outside the loop, you basically want to you want to delete in here. I'm sorry, erase the first timestamp, and then on the other one, once you are outside the loop, you want to um, add the timestamp. And at the end, you basically want to return the size of your timestamps vector. So as you can see, it's a simple while loop, and just basically adding and erasing things from a vector. It's not very hard. I will consider this as an easy lead code question, or even a warm up, if you can call it like that. But as I'm saying, the follow-ups were the hard thing in here, because he was really like into checking like every step of what I was doing. And this basically took like 30 minutes because there were many follow-up questions. Like I managed to finish the code in like 15 minutes, and then all of the rest of the time he just asked follow-ups. And finally, the other question. So I had like 10 minutes left on the interview. And he was like, okay, we have 10 minutes left, so I think we have time for one more question. And I was really kind of nervous because I didn't know like if it was going to be like a harder question, or maybe because I spent like many time on the first question, then the second one is actually like the real question that I'm supposed to spend like the most of my time into. But no, like at the end, the both questions I would consider them as the same difficulty. This was the second question. It was about strings, and I basically had to determine if a string S is cool, where cool means every distinct character occurs the same number of times. So for this, as I only had like 10 minutes left, he basically told me, okay, maybe you want to walk me through your approach on this problem and you don't have to code it. So I basically told him my approach, and he was like, okay, that sounds good. Maybe you want to code it to see if that works. So I started coding, and at, as the first time, I implemented the most optimal solution, as I could have gone with the brute force approach first, as most people would do on the interviews because you have more time left. But as I only had like 8 minutes left on the interview, I was like, okay, maybe I want to implement the most optimal one, so he can actually see that I can get there fast. And as for this approach, it was basically creating a frequency map, which is hash map or on order map in C++. You basically count the number of occurrences of each character on your string, and then you want to compare if they are like different, and if they occur like the same number of times. So you want to check like if the key of your map is basically the same number as the other ones. And in that case, well, you have to determine like true or false, just like that. And on that question, he didn't ask any follow ups because we didn't have like any time left. But he did provide some feedback, and he told me that it was like a nice approach and that it was pretty optimal, and he was glad that I could reach like that solution. So I think in overall, what I get from this is that I studied like a lot of medium hard questions because supposedly it was going to be like a hard interview, as it was like intern, like regular internship. It was not like first year internship or second year internship. It was just like regular internship. And maybe what interviewers actually were looking for in here is how you approach a problem like directly, and if you can actually like think about solutions like fast and answer like their questions like in real time without taking like too much time to think about it, or maybe just like thinking to yourself. And something that you like want to do is to always like keep talking. um while I was talking, like on every step, I just saw my interviewer like nodding that I was going like through the right path, so that actually made me feel like more comfortable of what I was doing. But yeah, that is the overall summary of the interview that I have with a big tech company like 2 days ago. And it was scary, yes, but it was good.
So I think we can all learn from that. Like, um, again, the thing I get a lot from the session, it's, for example, the thing we talk about, the rubber dog, like being able not only to solve it, but actually to have these abilities to explain what you're doing. Um, I don't know, like having these great communication skills. Could you tell that it's an important thing also? So, any other insight you want to share us?
mm, I mean, I think it's just having like good communication, like something I would definitely recommend, and that I at least I did like 3 or 4 days before my interview, just like going through your computer, like opening some random problem on LeetCode or HackerRank, and just like start coding and just speak out loud what you are doing, like every step you're doing, like what you're thinking. Even if you have like random ideas of what to do on the problem, or if you want to totally like change your solution at the middle of the interview, you can totally do that. And something that that interviewers that I think they also like is that you take them like into account inside like your problem solving skills. At least, for example, I wrote like my initial approach as a comment, like for the method thing, and then I asked my interviewer like, oh hey, like what do you think about this approach? Like you think like it is a good approach, or should I change something? And I was like, no, it looks good to me. Like you can continue like to actually code like the solution. So maybe just try to check like if your approach would work before like actually writing the code down.
Yeah, I think that's what happened me right now. Because I didn't check the, maybe asking you about like what you thought about what, how I think I could solve this other problem. But yeah, I don't know, like I just went full directly to writing code, and so that was my mistake here. Um, so bad on me.
No,
but
you're good.
but good on you and good on the advices you're telling us. And well, I think that should be it. Thanks a lot for joining, Jocelyn, and also for sharing the things you have learned during these past, like the experiences. I want to say. Yeah. So also no more comments from our hackers. And I will tell you just that one more thing, that it's on a previous session I mentioned about the not having DevPods submission on during Global Hack Week, and yeah, I was totally wrong about that. So
Uh,
so sorry. And for the next Global Hack Week, I'll try to be like well more informed. And well, I just want to say that the last session will be for tomorrow, streaming Stephen Intro to Machine Learning Part 3, and also a mini game from Cecilia. So join us for tomorrow's sessions, and for the closing ceremony, hosting obviously Ryan and Mary, right? So happy hacking, people. See you later.
bye.